Actually, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you believe we actually are entering the era of parity in the NBA, or do you think that this is a potential short little blimp before we'll see super teams kind of run the next decade or two?
No, I think we enter an era of parity.
Why?
I really do think we enter an era of parity. I think the talent is getting better. I think it's getting harder to put together super teams.
Because of the double.
Yeah, because of the money and the taxes and all these different things.
Yeah.
Right now, we were just on ESPN the other day, and we were talking about putting together super teams, and the conversation was talking about where Giannis would go. And a lot of people were saying a lot of these different teams, and Brian Windhurst, who's amazing with those different things, Wendy, we had a conversation about certain teams having 3 players. And back in the day when I was able to do it with the Miami Heat, and we had LeBron, Chris Bosh, and D-Wade, and they were still able to find a way to sign myself and different guys. Those situations aren't happening anymore. It's just not within the rules and different things like that. It's just not capable of happening. Now, if you're able to get 2 or 3 superstars, you're going to go into the luxury tax so high that is it going to be worth it? You got to win in the next couple of years, or if you don't, it's not worth it. And then obviously, then you got to figure out a way to put 10 to 11 role players willing to make minimum money around 3 max guys, which we were able to do that when I was playing. None of these guys are willing to do that anymore. Everybody wants to make their money. So I just don't think financially you can do it anymore to put together a super team. So, but I think the parity is really growing because as we see the shift of the older guys, we see the shift of the LeBron Jameses, we see the shift of the Stephen Currys, we see the shift of, these different guys, and then we see the small market teams like the SGAs and the OKC. We start to see the Minnesotas and the different teams like that rise. So now we're seeing that shift of the Lakers and, unfortunately, the Heat, what we call large market teams are declining just a little, and then we're seeing the growth of the smaller market teams, and these are the teams that are going to the finals right now. We're looking at a team where obviously the Knicks are a huge market team, but we talk about Indiana could possibly be in the finals. OKC and Minnesota, one of those teams are going to be in the finals. Those are small market teams compared to the big market and large market teams that we've seen in the past.
It's an incredibly exciting time for NBA fans because I was very affected as a fan by the super teams. It was a wrap before the season started.
Yes.
It was really hard to get going,
Yes.
It was, you just kind of were like, what do we do with this?
It's really a roll of the dice. If you look at what Phoenix did, they were able to put the 3 superstars together, but now you're rolling the dice with what you put around it. And if it doesn't work, now you pigeonhole and you stuck and like, now I got to move somebody. Who can I move?
And you know what else has been interesting? You know this way better than I do, so I'm asking you more than saying. But as the game has evolved, the other thing that's been interesting is the role players' impact is fascinating with the 3 ball.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like I think about the players that like scare me.
Yes.
Like when I was a kid, when Hauser came in,
yes,
I'd be like, that dude, I don't give a shit.
Yes.
Now I'm like, this might hit 4 threes in 2 seconds and this might f us up.
Yes.
Like, the 3 ball and a lot of these role players, it feels different.
So I'll tell you this about the role players. The stars, they get to shoot whatever shot they want. If you're a role player, most likely your role is to defend, rebound, or shoot threes. One of the 2. The stars, they say there's no mid-range in the NBA. That's a lie. KD can shoot mid-range. LeBron can shoot mid-range. Luka can shoot mid-range. Your role-playing ass, you better shoot them threes and you better defend.
That's right.
So that is the role of most role players in the NBA. Most role players are 3 and D guys. Unless you're a lob big where you create that vertical spacing. When you get a lob, you know what lobs do? They make everybody come in. Now you create more spacing for the guys that shoot threes. So everything is predicated on getting guys open shots. And most of the time, your role players, for you to get minutes, you're going to have to be a floor spacer.
Do you think that a rule change is needed? Or do you believe the thesis people have that ratings are down because every team looks the same with the 3 ball? And if you do you think a rule change? Like my brother said something in our basketball thread when everyone was talking about this late winter last year, early this year, and he threw out something that got a lot of us cooking. He was like, what if they limited the number of threes that you could actually take? And it was like really got us into a real deep philosophical combo. But, what's your take on that? Do you think the rating softening was that, or do you think it was something else? And then number 2, if you do think there's a little bit to that.
I think a little bit of that, and also a little bit of guys just not playing.
Yeah.
When you show up or when you cut your TV on, you're expecting to see these superstars. And a lot of times, a lot of these guys are sitting out different games. And I think fans are getting tired of that. You have a responsibility and accountability, not just for the fans, but for your team first.
Yep.
We depend on you. You're our guy. We need you. And then secondly, the fans show up to see you. So I think that's part of it. And I think, yes, I think everybody doesn't have the personnel to shoot 30, 40 threes, but I think for whatever reason, a lot of teams are shooting 30 and 40 threes. One, I know, is just to keep up with other teams.
Yeah.
You have teams that are built around the three-point line. I mean, the Boston Celtics broke the single-season record for shooting threes. So if they're making threes and you're making twos, your ass going to get beat by 40.
That's right.
So now that allows you to start forcing up threes. But what I will say is habits. I think you just need to start building those habits. That needs to start in the summer. That needs to go through training camp. You need to be building those habits throughout the season. You can't wait till you get to the playoffs to say, okay, now we're going to start shooting 35, 40 threes. When the regular season, you've been shooting around 30. Now you want to ramp it up for the playoffs because you want to try to keep up with this team. No, these are the habits that you've built over the years. Another thing I see is we're going back to the two bigs. You know, we got away from that for a while. We got away from the two bigs for a while, and that kind of hurt my career because once we got away from the two bigs, we were just playing a center, and your power forward was really just a small forward that you put at power forward.
100%.
So we got away from that. So now we're seeing the trend of the two bigs come back now.
It's super meaningful for the Knicks right now.
Yeah,
when Mitch and Cat are both out there,
man, listen,
that's
Mitchell,
a problem
you
for
got to give
people.
Mitchell Robinson his credit where credit's due, man. I mean, make a free throw or not, he has impacted the game of basketball and is playing winning basketball.
In a real way.
He is playing winning basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously is going to probably have a very interesting offseason at the free throw line, and he's never been a good free throw shooter. But if he can rev it up just a little, his impact is enormous.
Yes. And I'm a huge fan of Hartenstein. Crazy that you brought that up because I was a huge fan of his.
Awesome.
And I knew that was going to be a tough loss for you guys because that's a guy.
I knew it 10 games into him being a Knick. I'm like, we don't have him locked up. He's going to have a good year. You could tell.
Yes.
You could tell 2 seconds in that he could play.
Yes.
Fellas, I'm talking to y'all one more time. Nobody likes to wait. None of us. I can't stand being in traffic. I can't stand waiting for my coffee. I hate waiting to get off work. So why would I make my woman wait? I don't even wait in line. I get out and leave. Can you imagine if my woman was waiting on me and she walked out the house and left? So don't make her wait. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Have that roast box in your pocket, have it in your glove compartment, have it in your wallet, wherever you need it. But boy, you need to stay hard. Fellas, take control of your sex life. Dominate your bedroom. She might never tell you, but she love it when you run the show. Roast Box is a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who need a secret weapon against that wet noodle. They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue. And getting hard faster means there's no more waiting to perform, baby. Roast Box gives you the boost to last longer, and everyone gets more pleasure and climaxes more. Y'all definitely gonna have to hydrate at the end. Ro connects you with medical providers 100% online, so there's no awkward conversation with in-person providers. If approved, treatment shipped directly to your door. No, it ain't coming in a bow, but you got that roll. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off your first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with your provider at ro.co/OGs to find out if prescription Ro Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/OGs for $15 off your first order.
Basketball fans, it's win or go home time. The NBA Conference Championships are here and the intensity is off the charts. Every possession matters, and there's still time to get in on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's the deal. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll score $300 in bonus bets. That's right. Pick your side, place your bet, and get ready to cash in. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up using code OGs. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $300 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. If sports betting is not available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code OGs and bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's promo code OGs only at DraftKings Sportsbook.